give a high five, say good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Guys, wanna go sit?
So, the majority of you that you see me up here, you're looking at me and saying, a man with no legs and one arm. How can I relate? Physically, you probably can't. I'm good looking, I have muscles. I'm just kidding. But mentally we all have a mindset, right? And we all have the ability to cultivate a mindset. And so, what I'm going to do here today is I'm going to share with you my journey on how I cultivated this mindset. How I react to situations. Because what I figured out by traveling all over the world is, people want to know how Nick operates. People want to know how Nick thinks. How is this man successful? How is he happy? How is he doing all these things with no legs and one arm? How is he doing it? And I promise you it's all up here. This is how I do it, because this physical form of me is not a disability. The biggest disability you can have is a bad mindset.
Yes!
So picture this. You're about to bring a beautiful baby into this world. You go in for the first ultrasound. Everything's great. You go in for the second ultrasound, and everything's great. And then you go in for that third ultrasound. You go in for the last ultrasound. They sit you and your spouse down on the table, and they bring that baby up on the screen. The doctors start looking at each other with these puzzled faces. You say, what's going on? What's wrong with my baby? They say, well, from the looks of it, it doesn't look like his limbs are being developed. It looks like he's missing his arm, his legs, his face might be messed up. As a parent, raise your hand if you're a parent. As a parent, how do you react in that situation? What do you do? Because in life, in every situation, you have the ability and the choice to be a victim or a victor. And so my parents, luckily, gratefully, they chose to be the victor of this situation. They looked at each other in the eyes, and they said, we're going to see where life takes us. Because the doctors came back and said, your baby boy has about a 30% chance to live. They classified me with hand-heart syndrome. And what hand-heart syndrome is a super rare genetic disorder that either leaves the babies with undeveloped limbs or undeveloped organs. I'm 22 years old. In 1996, I was the 12th baby in medical history that they'd ever seen this happen. And so they looked at my parents and said, you know, your son's going to be the 12th. Out of the 12, 8 of them have passed away due to undeveloped organs. And so what that means is the babies are born and they're hooked up to these machines. They can't breathe on their own. They can't eat on their own, and they soon pass away. And so the doctors looked at my parents and said, your baby boy has about a 30% chance to live. My parents did something that would change the course of not only their life, but my life forever. They looked at each other and said, we're going to focus on that 30% rather than the 70%. The reason being, because focusing on the negative will never serve you. In life, in any situation, you focusing on the negative aspect will never empower you, it will only sink you. And so my parents said, you know, we're just going to focus on that 30%. A couple months later, you know, my parents are praying, I hope my baby boy survives, I hope my baby boy survives. Finally, my mom went into labor with me. She had a C-section. And so I was born, and one of the first things she said was like, wow, look how cute he is, he's got a full head of hair. I had like a fro. I had all his hair on me. And as soon as I was born, the doctors basically walked over to my parents. And they said, we need to test his organs. We need to see if your kid's going to survive. And so they take me and they run and do the test on my organs. And they came back, they said, Mr. and Mrs. Santanastasio, your baby boy's organs are 100% healthy. The only thing that was affected was his legs. So I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to be here. But like I said, that was such a key moment for my parents, is focusing on that 30, because that 70 will never do anything for you. In any situation, focusing on the negative will never do anything. And so over these 45 minutes or whatever I have, like I said, I'm going to show you how I cultivated this mindset. And this mindset stuff, it ain't no mumbo jumbo, because I'll tell you what. The majority of business problems, when someone comes into the workplace and they're not performing, it's because of two reasons. One, they don't like the job. Or two, something's going on internally. The majority of business problems are personal problems kicked under the rug. Something's going on up here, something's going on at home. And so if we can be more in tune with our employees, if we can be more in tune with our team, and not only care about what they're doing in their business life, but how they're doing in their personal life, because people just want to know you care. And people just want to get treated like people. And so, growing up, right when I was born, like I said, the doctors handed over a list to my parents. And they said, here's all the things your son won't be able to do. Your son won't be able to feed himself. Your son won't be able to dress himself. Your son will basically be a big baby for the rest of his life. My parents looked at this doctors, they looked at the list and said, thanks, but no thanks. I'm not going to let other people put limitations on my son and see what he's capable of doing. I'm going to see what he's capable of doing. And so, growing up, my parents sat me down at an early age. They sat me down at an early age and they said, Nick, the world's not going to stop for you because you're born like this. You have no legs and one arm. This is how it is. The world is not going to adapt to you. You are going to have to adapt to the world. You are going to have to figure out how to do each and everything your way, this way. And so, in the most polite way, my parents would sit me down with my clothes. And they say, Nick, figure it out. Mom and Dad are not going to be here forever. Figure it out. And you know, I take over my clothes and I fall down, I get back up, I fall down, I get back up. And I look at my parents, they say, Nick, things are going to be hard now. You're going to fall down now. But later it will be easy. You just got to go through the motions. So I learned how to dress myself. And then they would put me in my high chair. And they'd put a spoon there with food. And they'd say, Nick, you know what to do. Figure it out. And by my parents, I tell people, by my parents putting these challenges in front of me, by exposing me to reality at an early age, it got my mindset in the rhythm of, it's not can't, but how? How am I going to get through this challenge? How am I going to break through this barrier? How am I going to feed myself? And that's the same thing in all areas of our life. Business, spiritually, emotionally, whatever it may be, when you approach a situation, when you approach anything, it's not can't. That's disempowering. You've got to open your mind up to the empowering. You've got to open your mind up to the opportunities to be able to accomplish something, and that's how you do it, by saying how. Because the majority of human beings, they start with that word can't. I can't do this because I don't have the money. I can't do this because I'm not smart enough. I can't do this because I'm not good enough. We're handicapped by everything up here. We handicap ourselves. And so I approach every situation with how. And so one of the things my parents put me on at an early age was skateboarding. They said, Nick, you look like you can ride this. Let's try out skateboarding. And so my parents, at first, they put me on a skateboard on my stomach. And I would lay down on the surfboard and I'd ride the skateboard like this. We have any hustlers in here? Woo! Let me say that again. We have any hustlers in here? Yeah! We always want more, right? We always want to progress. We never want to move backwards. And so it was like, I want more speed. I want to go faster on my skateboard. So finally I realized that I sit upright like this on my butt. So I can pedal and go faster and faster. And we all know that vicious cycle. We want more. And so finally, after a long day of skateboarding, a long day of falling on my face, getting back up, I said, Mom and Dad, come outside and learn a new trick. My parents like, oh God, with that. I'm like, just come outside. And so I brought them outside, and I brought them up to the bottom of the hill. I said, wait here. And I skateboarded up to the top of this hill. When I got to the top, I said, Mom and Dad, are you ready? Mom was like, yeah, Nick, as ready as I've ever been. And so I come flying down this hill, whoop, whoop. And finally, I pop up on my skateboard like this. My head's like 2 inches from the pavement. I'm like, Mom and Dad, did you see that trick? My mom's like, you don't even have my helmet on. I'm like, that's not the point. I just did a handstand on my skateboard. And the reason why I tell you this story is because I went ahead and I posted that picture online. and it was one of the more iconic pictures of me. And in life, we all look up to someone, right? We all look up to musicians, business people, entrepreneurs, whatever it may be on social media. We all look up to someone. But what we see is where they are at currently, their current success. People are like, man, I love that handstand. Well, they didn't see how many times Nick fell in his face trying to do the handstand. And so everyone that we look up to, we see the current journey, so I suggest you embrace the journey. Embrace the journey. Embrace the times where you fall on your face. Embrace the times where the things don't go your way. Because like I said in that video up there, the times when you fall on your face and things don't go your way, that's where you're going to evolve as a human being. That's where you're going to level up. That is where the most personal growth is coming from. And so, that was one of the things that I accomplished as a kid, but growing up, I didn't realize I was different. Before middle school, I didn't realize this whole package I had going on. I just thought I was a normal kid living life. And then I got into middle school. And I think we can all agree that middle school and high school are probably the most judgmental times of our life. Can we agree? Yes. And so here I am, and I get into middle school. And like I said before, I said I didn't realize I was different, but other people let me know that I was different. What I mean by that, for example, one day I was sitting on the bus, and I see this girl, she's picking on everyone. She's just going down the whole bus, picking on everyone, and here I am like, man, not me, don't pick on me. And she looked at me, she goes, I don't even have to start on you. You're already so messed up as it is. There was another point. I wasn't even in middle school. I was in like 4th grade, and we're playing kickball. You're probably like, Nick, I can play kickball. I'll tell you how to play kickball. So I would have the teachers, or I had someone kick for me, and I'd run around the bases as fast as I could. And so finally it was my turn, and someone kicked for me, and I'm running around the bases, and I'm running, and I slide in the whole base. And I remember the catcher. I still remember this kid's name. He looks at the catcher. He looks at the pitcher. He goes, "How are you going to let a cripple score?" Here I am, I'm in 4th grade. And I started getting into this victim mentality. Why? Why me? Why do I have to be born like this? Why do the kids have to call me crippled? Why do the kids have to make fun of me? Why me? And so I got into middle school, and here I am at the lowest point in my life. I realized that the kids were taller than me. I realized that I couldn't ride a bike like the other kids. I realized the pointing, the stares, the covering of the mouth to talk about. Here I am, just like, why me? And it got to the point where I was absolutely disgusted with my body. I didn't want to look into a mirror. I didn't want to go in public. And I wanted to take my life because I was just absolutely disgusted with my body. And even as I'm up here, I know that there are millions of kids and adults, even in this room, that don't feel like they're good enough. They don't feel like they're pretty enough, strong enough, whatever it may be. And so I know how you feel. And here I am, I'm at this point, and I'm trying to dig myself out of a hole. And what I didn't mention is, I'm the baby of the family. I have 3 siblings. I have 2 sisters and 1 brother. My older brother was a wrestler. Do we have any wrestlers in here? Okay, see you back there. And so my older brother was a wrestler, and I was like, man, I look up to these wrestlers. And I got into freshman year, and all my best friends were wrestlers, except my one best friend, Dan. We're still best friends to this day. He decided to bowl his freshman year. I don't know why. He was a wrestler his whole entire life, but decided to bowl. This is a no judgment zone. And so, Dan comes up to me and goes, dude, I know you're looking for a way out. You're looking for an activity, a sport. You can do bowling. All you got to do is roll the ball down the lane. You get to eat cheese fries when you come back. It's really easy. And I'm Italian, so anything that's got to do with food, I'm in. And so I'm like, bro, I'm there. I'll bowl. And so in your high school sports, do you guys know about JV and varsity? Yes. Yeah, so in high school sports, if you don't know, you have your JV and you have your varsity. So JV is not your starting lineup, and varsity is your starting lineup. And so I remember our bowling team, our varsity was studs. And our JV bowling team was undefeated. Till I did. I joined the team and I gave our JV bowling team our first loss, and Nick soon realized that bowling wasn't for him. That he wanted something that was going to push me more physically, more mentally. And so my sophomore year came, and all my best friends decided to be wrestlers again. And they came up to me and they said, Nick, you always tell people to try new things, get out of their comfort zone. Why don't you try wrestling? And I said, I can't. We can't. I said, I can't, my arm. And he said, what do you mean? And to give you guys an understanding, this arm used to look like a chicken wing. It looks like a potato now. Does it? Yeah, it does. And so before, it looked like a chicken wing. This arm was 5 inches longer than it is now. And my bone was growing faster than my skin. And so it was very painful, and I'd always tuck my arm. And the bottom line is, if I would have hit my arm hard enough, my bone would have came through my skin. And so you know when like someone tells you an idea, you're like, nah, that's not a good idea. And then you go home, you start thinking about that idea. You start marinating on that idea. You start thinking about all the ways that you can accomplish it. Well, that was me. I was like, man, I'm at this low point in my life. If I could just instill some confidence in me. Because confidence is a skill. I was a kid that thought you just wake up with confidence. You were either born with it or you didn't have it. But confidence is a skill. It's something that you continuously work on. And a synonym for confidence is self-integrity. Ed Milet talks about this a lot. Confidence is the relationship you have within yourself. And so how you build confidence is you keep your word within yourself. And you start little. So what I mean by that is, you say you're going to wake up 30 minutes earlier, you do it. You say you're going to eat healthy 5 out of 7 days, you do it. And when you do it, you not only physically applaud yourself, but you mentally applaud yourself. And you build this relationship within yourself. And that's what confidence is. Having a relationship that's so good within yourself that you don't care what anybody else thinks of you, because you know who you are, you know your work ethic, and you know your self-integrity. And so I was like, man, this has the ability to pivot me out of this hole. And so I came home one day, and I waited for both my parents to come home. And I sat them down, and my parents supported everything and anything I wanted to do, but this was a little bit different. I sat them down and I said, Mom and Dad, I want to be a wrestler. And immediately my mom was like, oh no, Nick. Wrestling's the most physical sport. You know, God forbid you hit your arm, your bone comes to your skin. What are you going to do then? In under 10 seconds, I came up with a solution. I looked at my parents and I said, can we cut it off? They said, what? I said, yeah, can we cut my arm off? Can we do something about it? They said, first off, Nick, the right word is amputate. You're so aggressive with your words. I'm like, all right, can we amputate my arm? They were like, Nick, is this something that you really want to do? And I said, absolutely. It has the ability to pivot me. And I can ask you the same question. You know, whatever you are focusing your energy on, whether that's becoming a better business person, a better father, a better mother, a better spouse, whatever it may be, you guys need to give it 110% effort, or you're literally selling yourself short. Let me ask you a question. Do we deserve to be great? Yes. Do we deserve to do great things? Yes. Why would we sell ourselves short? Why would we give ourselves 90, 95% all the way through? And so they're like, Nick, is this something that you really want to do? I said, absolutely. And so my sophomore year of high school, my parents scheduled the appointment for me to amputate my arm. And so what they did was, they went in and they lasered 5 inches of my bone off. They lasered 5 inches of my bone off, and they did a skin graft. So what that means is they pull skin from up on my shoulder, and they pull it over so I can have a cushion, so I can beat it up. And this whole point of amputating my arm was so I can wrestle. And so I remember right before the surgery, I looked at the doctor and I said, Doc, if I can't beat someone over the head with this when I wake up, we're gonna have a problem. Like I need to be able to wrestle. And so the surgery went great. I woke up, I had about 17 stitches in my arm and a cast. And the funny thing is, I didn't even tell any of my friends I was doing this. I didn't tell the teachers, I just kind of did it. And so I went back to school, and I can promise you, I was the happiest kid that just cut it off. I go back to school, and I'm like, all smiling, I have all these stitches in my arm. Like, people are like, dude, what'd you just do? I'm like, I cut my arm off. They're like, why? I said, I'm going to become a wrestler. I remember I was so pumped up to tell people, I'm going to become a wrestler. And people laughed. People laughed at me. They said, Nick, wrestler? How you can be a wrestler, let alone an athlete? You have no legs and one arm. Let's be real. Raise your hand if you have some haters. Guys. Raise your hand if you know what the outside noise is. Those people that tell us that our goals are too big. That we're too far-fetched. What's your plan B? That's called the outside noise. And let me tell you something, it's never going to go away. That's life. But I promise you, there's a way to react to this. We all have the same choice, and that's the choice of we can let the outside noise affect us or drive us. And my whole entire life, I chose to use it to let it drive me. All this negative energy, I chose to let it drive me. And so I looked at these people, I said, you're right. I'm not going to become a wrestler. I'm going to become a varsity wrestler. And that was always my mindset, not only to prove to others wrong, but to prove to myself that I was truly capable of doing it. And so my junior year, I tried out for my wrestling team, and I remember going to the room, it's all my best friends, and I said, guys, beat me up. Beat me up, pick me up, slam my face as many times on the mat as you need. Because if you hold back on me, I'm not going to know how to become the best wrestler I could possibly be. And that's the same approach my parents took. If my parents coddled me and they gave me everything and they didn't let me fall on my face, I would have gotten slapped in the face at reality at an early age. And so for these parents out here, I have a question you can self-reflect on. Are you doing too much for your kids? Are you giving he raised his hand. Are you doing too much for your kids? Because like I said, in life, this all comes down to exercising muscles. And what I mean by that is at an early age, by my parents putting those challenges in front of me, I exercise the muscle of doing hard things. Because nowadays, things get hard, people just throw in the towel. Because they're not used to being uncomfortable. Life is all about getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. Exercising the muscle of doing hard things. Exercising the muscle of pivoting. Exercising the muscle of adapting and overcoming. And so, I told my friends, I said, beat me up, and they did. My junior year, I was a JV wrestler. Shout it out. Anyone, just shout out. How many wins do you think I had my junior year? Just shout. Any numbers? Over here, shout out a number. 20. 20, you're so nice. It's a good thing I have one finger. You ready for this? 1. I had 1 win. My junior year, I had 1 win. I was 1-20, and my only win was my coach putting me out for a varsity forfeit so I could get my varsity jacket. When I came off the mat, I was like, thanks, dude, I don't want it. I didn't earn it. I didn't earn this legit. I want to earn it legit. And so my junior year, I was 1-20. Got my butt kicked. And here I am, Nick, still looking for his purpose in life. I'm still looking for that answer to my why. Why me? My senior year, my life changed. My senior year, I came out as, I used to live in New Jersey, I came out as the 106-pound varsity wrestler from high school. This was a moment of reassurance for me, a moment of confirmation, a moment of guidance that I was going in the right direction. And the one thing that I want to touch on real quick is the only little bump in the road I saw that I had when I wanted to become a wrestler was the fact that my arm hurt. It wasn't this no legs and one arm thing I had going on. The reason being is because I knew that if I worked harder day in and day out than the other guys, that my hard work and dedication would simply make up for my lack of focus. That this wouldn't matter if I put the work in and day out. And so my senior year, I came out as a 106-pound varsity wrestler. Can anyone guess how many wins I had my senior year? 10? 100! Oh my God! I wish! Here, I think I can still do it. 2! I had 2 wins, 2 real legit wins. I had 2 real legit wins. My record was 2-17, and that was 2 more wins I got the previous year. And you know what that's called? Winning. Progress. As long as we're moving forward, as long as we're getting better each and every day in any area of our life, like I said, whether that's financially, emotionally, spiritually, as long as we're getting better each and every day, we are winning. We're just looking for progress. We're just looking to move forward a little bit each and every day, rather than staying stagnant or rather than going backwards. And so, I came off the mat one day after getting my butt kicked this year. And I come off the mat, I'm trying to gain my breath. And this lady comes up to me crying. I'm like, oh God, what did I do now? She got down to the level, she said, hey, I want to thank you. I said, for what? You see me get my butt kicked? She said, no, Nick, it's much more than that. She said, my daughter's over there on the sideline. She never wanted to do a sport. She never wanted to do an extracurricular activity. But she saw you out there living your life to the fullest, giving it your most. She wants to try all these new things. You motivated her. You inspired her. But most importantly, you shifted her perspective and did something that I couldn't get through to her as a parent. I want to thank you. And that's when my mind exploded. Because I was on the mat for myself. I was on the mat trying to dig myself out of a hole. And I was motivating and changing lives passively. I thought to myself, imagine how many lives I could change for the better. How many perspectives I could change for the better if I focused my energy in helping people. And that's when I kind of realized my why then. I got to use my unicorn abilities to the best to change lives. And so at the same time as I was a senior in high school, was in 2014, the app Vine came out. Raise your hand if you know what Vine is. Some of you. All right, so for the majority of you that don't know what Vine is, Vine was an app that was released in 2014 where you could post only 6-second videos. So you have to be as creative as you can in 6 seconds. And so, I go back to school, everybody's on Vine, everybody's freaking out. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna make some Vine videos. But the thing I want to touch on is, before wrestling, remember, Nick was a depressed, suicidal teen that had zero confidence. I hated myself. But I built this person. I built myself over keeping my word within myself. Saying I'm going to cut my arm off, I cut my arm off. You know what they say? Sometimes your dreams will cost you an arm and leg. I guess for me it did. But I'm telling you that you just have to make these sacrifices. A lot of things in your life you're going to sit there and say, man, I don't think I'm ready. I don't think I'm ready for this. I don't think I qualify. I don't think I have the skills. Jump in. Jump into those waters, because I promise you, when you jump in those uneasy waters, it's going to force yourself to learn how to swim. You're going to force yourself to learn how to adapt and overcome. There's no other way out. And so I specifically put myself in these crazy situations to evolve myself. And so I realized that. I came off the mat and I changed this kid's life. And now I'm thinking about an idea, and I brought all my friends around, and I'm masterminding an idea. I'm masterminding a viral video. I'm trying to figure out how I can use my strengths and focus on my strengths and create something that has never been done before. Use the shock and awe of the industry. What has never been done in this industry that when people look at their phones, they're going to go, whoa, what was that? So I'm thinking with my friends, and finally I said, guys, I got an idea. And they said, what is it? And I said, how many legless guys do you see crawling around Walmart pretending to be a zombie? They said, no one. I said, hey, that's a good idea. And so my senior year, I put fake blood on my face, I put fake blood on my clothes, and Nick set out to his local Walmart, which Nick's not allowed in that Walmart anymore. I've been kicked out like 3 times. I'm like, dude, just don't come back. It causes too much trouble. And so I go into this Walmart, and we're looking for a victim. And so we're scoping the aisles, and finally I see this man, and he's heavily invested in the paper towels. He's trying to figure out which paper towels he brings home to the wife. It's a big decision, right, man? And so I'm like, let's ruin this guy's decision. And so I'm like, blind phone. I come around the corner as fast as I can like this. And he goes, oh, and he throws the paper towels on my face. And I'm like, no, dude, it's just a prank. I couldn't believe it worked. And I looked back at my guys and said, was that 6 seconds? They're like, yeah. Yes. This is going to be perfect for Bob. And so we ran out of the store before they could kick us out. And I remember sitting in the car and I said to my family and friends, I said, guys, if this reaches 500 kids or adults, 500 kids or adults, because like I said, I was that kid that was disgusted in his body. I had zero confidence. I didn't believe in myself. I wanted to take my life. And like I said, as I'm up here, I know there are millions of people, even in this room, that feel the same exact way. And so I wanted to create a way where people can look at their phone and go, wow, look how happy Nick is. Maybe I could be a little bit more confident in my life. Maybe I could be a little bit more happy in my life. Because in life all deals us a deck of cards, let me tell you. And you may think your deck of cards is great. You may think your deck of cards is mediocre. You may think your deck of cards is terrible. I promise you one thing. It is our duty to play our hand to the best of our ability. No one else is going to do it. And one thing, no one else is coming to save you. In middle school, going into high school, I realized that the only person that was going to dig me out of my hole, the only person that was going to make a drastic change in my life for the better, was me. I had to do it for me. And so I got home that night, and I posted that video, and I still had school. So I posted the video, and I went to sleep for school. I woke up the next morning, the video had over 50,000 likes and over 50,000 rebounds. It went internationally viral. actually viral. And I gained 50,000 followers in one day. I go back to school, and people are like, dude, you're the zombie king. I'm like, oh my God, what did I just do? What is going on? And there was news articles all over the world, interviewing me and all about this pranks. But the one article that stood out to me the most was New Jersey teen born with disability turned into a positive. And that's all I wanted people to see. Like I said, is regardless of what hand life is dealt you with, that you gotta play the hand to the best of your ability. You gotta do it yourself. And so I finally realized that if I do these pranks and I make myself look funny on the internet, I gain some followers. Can you guys guess how many followers I gained in under a year?
1 million.
Oh, he's good. 1 million. This thing always comes again. 1 million. I gained 1 million followers. And that led me to getting hired by The Walking Dead. And Fox International, they called me up and they said, can you scare Norman Reedus, the main actor of The Walking Dead in Japan? I'm like, I'm your guy. I got you. Say no more. And so my senior year, I had the opportunity to fly my parents out first class. I'm here, I have an 18-year-old kid. I flew my parents out first class. I got paid my biggest paycheck as an 18-year-old. And I got to scare this guy, which you can go on YouTube and see the video if you type in Walking Dead prank. But I think the funniest thing about this is my mom's number one fear in life, she's terrified of zombies. She hates zombies. And so it took me like 20 minutes to persuade my mom to come take a picture with me when I was in full zombie makeup. I'm like, Mom, come take a picture with me. She's like, no, I'm good, son. Whatever, Mom. And so the thing is, though, I realized after I analyzed what I did in that industry, everything changed once I focused my attention on helping people. Right? I wanted to make people laugh. I wanted to inspire people. I wanted them to shift their perspective. I just wanted to help people. Raise your hand if you can agree that you're in the relationship business. Yes! Right? Listen, I promise you guys, everything's going to change when you start viewing people as people. When you look at your clients, and rather than looking at the dollar sign above their head, and you look at these people and you treat them like people, and you actually care about their wants and their needs and how you can solve their problems, people feel that. Can we agree that people's BS meters are very good nowadays?
Yes.
People know when you're BSing. And so like I said, when you look at someone in their eyes and you're present with them, and you connect with them, and you're simply there to help them, that's when you get more referrals. That's when people are like, hey man, I want to work with that guy. He made me feel great. He really cares. Because so many people are just out for the dollar sign. They're just out to take money from people. But I promise you, like I said, when you look at people and you're like, I'm here for you. I want to solve your needs. If there's anything I can do for you, don't hesitate. Reach out to me. That's what people want. They want people to care. And they want to be treated like people. And so I realized that, and that's what I did. That's what I did with Vine. I gained 1 million followers, but after that, it didn't fulfill me anymore. We're chasing a fulfilled life, right? A fulfilled, abundant life. And I realized that when I have grandkids and kids, I want them to know me for much more than crawling around Walmart. That I want to do something bigger and better, and I wanted to do something that fulfilled me. And so I made an announcement to these 1 million people that follow me for my pranks. I said, guys, I don't like this anymore. It doesn't fulfill me. I want to do something that's going to make me feel good about myself. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to become a bodybuilder. I'm going to become a mainstream model, and I'm going to create a keynote speaking company. And I'm going to be fully transparent with you. I don't know how to do any of these things. But the beauty behind life, especially with the internet, is we are the architects of our life. And each and every day, we have the ability to learn whatever we want to learn and implement into our lives. And so, I'm a big believer. I never want to sit up here and dictate to people and say, you do this, you do that. The best way to teach people is to vividly paint a picture and make it simple. And so I always wanted to go out in the trenches and show people physically, like, this is how you do it. This is how you throw yourselves in crazy waters and figure it out. And so that's why I was so transparent with them, that I told them, I have no business experience. I dropped out of college, but I'm going to show you you can do it without it. I'm going to show you that you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Find out who's crushing it in your industry and model them. What are they doing right and what are they doing wrong? Don't do the wrong things. Do the right thing. And so that's what I did in every one of these industries. I started with fitness. I moved to Tampa 2 years ago to pursue my fitness career. And when I made the announcement that I was going to become a bodybuilder, guess what? People made fun of me. They laughed at me. They said, Nick, let's be real. How are you going to become a bodybuilder? Do you realize you have half a body? And I said, you're right, but this part of my body is going to be more shredded than your whole entire body. Jet fuel. You see what I'm doing here? It's jet fuel. We use all of that to fuel our vision. You keep hating on me. I love it. It's great. And so I told these people, I said, you're right. I'm going to get shredded. I'm going to do it. Watch. And so my knowledge of nutrition got better. My knowledge of training got better. But at first, for the full year, I posted these fitness videos and people unfollowed me. They hated it. But I enjoyed it. And that's all that mattered. I was getting fulfilled. That's all that matters. And so my knowledge of training got better. My knowledge of nutrition got better. My physique started to change. And then I told people, I said, guys, if this doesn't paint the picture, I'm going to do something even more extreme. I'm going to step or hop on the competitive bodybuilding stage before 2017 was over. I don't know anything about competitive bodybuilding, but I'm going to show you that I'm going to put myself in this uncomfortable situation to force myself to proud. And so I did a 12-week preparation. I did 12 weeks. I dedicated my life to 12 weeks to train for this competition. And I was 2 weeks out from my competition, and I went to Las Vegas for Mr. Olympia, which is one of the probably the biggest bodybuilding convention. And so I went there to hang out with the fans and just, say hi to the supporters. And I'm a big believer in energy. And what I mean by that is the energy I give out, the energy I put into the world is going to come back. And when I put that right energy out there, when I think about the things and I manifest them and I write these things down and I visualize them each and every day, that the universe helps you and it guides you to the right people, guides you to the right opportunities, and you're more inclined to see these opportunities when you train your subconscious. And so I got to Mr. Olympia, and the expo was a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday. I went Friday, I went Saturday, and Sunday I decided to just hang at the hotel. And then I finally looked at my buddies and said, guys, let's go lift. I need a lift. It's in the afternoon. Let's go to the gym. And so I went to one of the more famous gyms in Las Vegas. It's called City Athletic Club. And when I got there, my buddy comes running up to me and goes, dude, The Rock is upstairs lifting. I'm like, that's crazy. Can I still work out though? He's like, yeah. And so I climb up these stairs, and long and behold, there's Wayne. He's got 4 security guards around him. I'm like, oh my God, it's really The Rock. Never thought this would happen. And so I looked at my team and I said, guys, this man already knows me from my bodybuilding videos. Let's not bother him. If The Rock is who he says he is, he'll come up to me. Let's just put it in the universe's hands and see what happens. And so we're lifting, and 45 minutes later, one of his security guards comes up to me, he taps me on my shoulder, and he goes, you're Nick, right? I said, that's me. He said, can Dwayne meet you? I'm like, come on! Bring him on! Bring him on! And so they escorted me into a corner, and they brought Dwayne over, and as you can see, he tried his best to get on my level. And he got down on my level, and he looked at me, and I'll never forget this. He looked at me and he goes, dude, I'm such a big fan. I love what you do. Can I have a picture with you? And like here I am trying to hold my inner fangirl. I'm like, oh my God, I love you. I was trying to be a stud, but I couldn't. I was like, dude, yeah, for sure, I love you. Let's get a picture. And so we took this picture, and as we're looking, as he's my same height, I looked at him, I looked at him in his eyes, and I said, I'm gonna do what you did. He said, what do you mean? I said, you're The Rock. I said, people knew you for WWE, they knew you for football, and then you took over the world. You took over every industry. I said, I'm going to do that. I said, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to become a keynote speaker. I'm going to become a bodybuilder. I'm going to become a model. The list went on and on. I said, I'm going to do all these things. And he looked at me and he said, Nick, you're right. Because people like me and you, they put us in any industry, and we adapt and overcome. It's just what we do. And that was like a moment of reassurance for me, a moment of confirmation that I was going in the right direction. And so we took this picture, and I told him about my competition. It's the only reason why I looked that good. I said, I'm 2 weeks out from my first bodybuilding competition. I was about to make history, the first man with no legs and one arm to step on the bodybuilding stage. And we went on with our day. 2 weeks later, I'm backstage and I'm pumping up for this competition. And my buddy comes running up to me, and he hands me the phone, and he goes, dude, look! The Rock just posted you on his Instagram. And I don't know, for me that's pretty cool. The Rock got like 125 million followers on Instagram. Unreal. And so he's like, dude, look, The Rock posted you on his Instagram. And The Rock posted this really long, heartfelt message. And at the end he said this. He said this. I want to thank Nick for sharpening my perspective a little bit more on life. And I was just overwhelmed. Because this guy is top tier of the world. Top tier athlete, top tier actor, you name it. And that's when I realized that if I can motivate, inspire, but most importantly, shift the perspective of this man that is top tier in the world, top tier businessman, top tier actor, top tier athlete, that I may not have legs, but I'm here to make a massive footprint in this world before I leave. Thank you, Dwayne, because he posted me and I gained 100,000 followers in like 5 days on Instagram. It was just like blowing up. I thought I was the coolest person in the world. And like I said, in life, we're going to have these moments of reassurance. You know, these little moments of reassurance, these little moments of confirmation, these little moments of guidance that we're going the right day, that we're going in the right way. And this was one of them. I have a story that I usually end off with, but this is one of my favorite things that I like to teach. And it's something that you guys can implement into your life immediately. And implement, you can even reflect back on your history, on your past. And it's the power of the meaning you attach behind it. And what I mean by that is in life, I can have a tragic event happen in my life and you can see all the good, and I can see all the bad. The dictator is the meaning we attach behind that moment. Whether we put a disempowering meaning behind it, or we put an empowering meaning. And so about a year ago, I had the opportunity to work a UFC event in Madison Square Garden. I got to interview the fighters, I got to interview the celebrities. And let's just say, Nick was feeling like a man. My confidence was way taller than I'll ever be. And I felt like I could run through a wall. And it was time for me to travel. It was time for me to travel home. And I was traveling alone. And on flights, you have first come, first served seating. Or you have reserved seating, assigned seating. And this flight was first come, first served. And so I'm traveling alone. I get to the airport. And I roll up in a wheelchair. You know what that means. I get to skip the line. They're like, yeah, you dirty dog. You get to skip the line. So I skip the line. And they escort me into the plane. And I sit in the first row, the best seat of the plane. It's a 3-seater row. I'm on the window seat. There's 2 seats next to me. And I remember the flight attendant saying, Nick, this is going to be a full flight. Well, she didn't know my name. I'm not that cool. She was like, honey, this is going to be a full flight. I said, yeah, that's fine. I already got my seat. And this plane starts filling in. And, people are looking at me and then looking away. Or, hey, look at that guy. In the 22 years of my life, I'm in tune with this stuff, guys. I see it more than other people. I just see it. And so the plane's starting to fill in, and people are looking away and whispering at me. And no one wants to sit next to me. These 2 seats are untouched. Every single seat around me is taken. And no one wants to sit in these 2 seats next to me. And it brought me back to that time in middle school. It brought me back to that time in high school when I felt like I was so absolutely disgusting. There was something so wrong with me physically that these people didn't even want to sit on the plane with me. It brought me back to that moment, so here I am. I'm looking out the window and crying. And finally, 2 gentlemen have to sit down. The seats have to be taken. These 2 gentlemen sit down. I'm looking out the window and crying. And I asked myself, I said, Nick, what would you tell the kids? Nick, what would you tell the adults? Practice what you preach, Nick. What would you tell them? And that's what I thought. It's the meaning I attach behind this. Right? A disempowering meaning or an empowering meaning. And that's when I realized that I can cry all the way home. I can let this affect my day, my week, my month. Or Nick can celebrate the fact that he has the most legroom in this plane. Snap your fingers for me. I'll pretend. snap your fingers. I'm doing it. In the snap of a finger, guys, I took a situation where Nick was literally crying with an empowering meaning behind the event, and I switched it into an empowering meaning rather than a disempowering meaning. I went from crying to laughing, and this can happen. You can use this in every area of your life, in every event of your life, even events in the past. When you realize that our problems turn into gifts once we learn from them. There's always one good piece of information that you can extract from every situation in life. Past, future, present. There's always one good thing that you can pull out of every event. Because like Nelson Mandela said, I don't lose. I only win or learn. And so you can ask yourself, am I losing in this situation? Or I can win or learn from this? Because even right now, you can self-reflect on an event in the past that you thought was a loss, that you thought you failed, and you go and you analyze that event, and you pull out one good piece, whether that was a knowledge bomb, whether that was a different perspective, whether that was a different way of going about life, and you take that loss, and you turn it into a win. And when you view yourself like that, you never lose in life. You're like Nelson, you only win or learn. And so every time something goes your way, or doesn't go your way, every time something doesn't go your way, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What can I gain from this? What empowering meaning can I attach to this from taking that into a loss and bringing it to a W? Because I promise you guys, if I would have just viewed all the negative things, all the bad things that I thought about myself, I wouldn't be here today. I could wake up every single day and go, man, I have no legs and one arm. Look at me. Or I could go out and do something about it. I can go out and make something about it. I can go out and focus on my strengths rather than my weaknesses. Because as humans, we are primed throughout our entire life to focus on what we don't have. We are primed to focus on what we don't have, what we're not good at, and why we can't do things. How empowering is that? It's not. And so like I said, guys, it's extracting all the good from an event. It's focusing on your strengths. I mean, entrepreneurism, right? It's all about focusing on your strengths and delegating your weaknesses. Like, I delegate what I'm not good at. I delegate what I don't have time for. And I focus on my strengths. And even in your team building, start having people focus on their strengths rather than all the things that they hate about themselves. Because like I said, guys, we are primed to think like this. We need to reprogram our mind and start focusing on the good so we can excel, so we can rise. Because I promise you, picking out all the flaws, picking out all the negative, picking out all your weaknesses is only going to save you. And lastly, one of the most important things, now that I've shared my perspective, are you guys enjoying this?
Yes!
I've shared my perspective. Thank you. Hold on, we'll go like this. I learned this. Ready? We'll do it. Hold on. We need to do that one more time. Can we agree? All together. Ready? Now that I've shared my perspective, we've built a little relationship together. Maybe you like me, maybe you don't. But, I love you too, brother. But with your permission, would you allow me to put you guys through a gratitude exercise?
Yes!
Are you guys up for that?
Yeah!
All right. So what we're going to do is, we're going to put on a song. I'm not going to walk you through it. I'm going to talk you through it. And so we're going to close our eyes and we're going to put both of your hands on your heart. I'm going to talk you through the process. Let's do it now. We're going to start off with both of your hands on your heart. We're going to close our eyes. We're going to start off with 6 deep breaths because 6 deep breaths is going to change our physiology. It's going to relax our mind and get us to that place we need to be. So close your eyes. I'll talk you through. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. breath in. Deep breath out. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Make this last deep breath your deepest breath in. Deep breath in. Hold it. Deep breath out. Relax your mind. I want you to go to a moment in your life that you can feel extremely grateful for. A big moment in your life, a small moment in your life, but a moment for you that you can feel extremely grateful for. Picture that moment. The environment. Who was with you? What did it smell like? Were you with your family? Your friends? In business? Live in that moment and breathe that gratitude into your heart. Live in that moment. Breathe that gratitude into your heart. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And I want you to stack that moment. Now, I want you to go to a moment in your life that you can feel extremely proud of. A proud moment. A big moment, a small moment, a moment in business, a moment as a dad, a mom, a brother, sister. But a moment for you that you can feel extremely proud of. Breathe that moment into your heart. I see some tears. I see some smiles. Let it out. Live in that moment. Breathe that moment into your heart. Maybe you even guided it. Maybe it was an event that led to something later, bigger in your life. Oh, and by the way, that thing you're holding, your heart, it was given to you. It was a gift. You woke up one day with it. When you go to sleep, that heart still beats so you can live. Life's a gift. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. All right, open your eyes. How'd that feel? That's a little taste. I see some tears, I see some smiles. That is just a little taste of gratitude. And you were in public. Imagine if you're in your bed and you're like, you're crying, bawling your eyes out. So grateful. That's just a little taste. And the reason why that's important, and the reason why I put you through that and gave you that tool that you can put in your pocket and do that any time is because the emotion of gratitude outweighs all the negative emotions. It is emotionally impossible for you to feel grateful and sad at the same time. Grateful and mad, grateful and angry. The emotion of gratitude outweighs all the negative emotions. And so I myself, my tribe, every day when we wake up, we either write down a list 5 things we're grateful for. And for the parents, for the spouses, for your family, this is a great tool and a great habit, a good habit that you can instill into your family. Mom, what are you grateful for today? Dad, what are you grateful for today? And then you ask them, what are you grateful for today? You are starting your day, you are starting your kids and you on the right foot. And I do it. I don't have a foot, so you can all do it. And that is why I start my days off with gratitude, because there is no other way. If you don't like the state you're in, if you don't like the thoughts that are going through your head, if you don't like the emotions you are feeling, change it. Because like I said, the only person that is coming to save you is you. The only person that is going to dig yourself out of a hole is you. The only person that can truly instill gratitude and have you live in a state of gratitude and a state of abundance is who? You. You have to do it for you. So with that being said, I like to end off my speeches with a chant. So I want everyone to stand up. You guys cool with that? All right. so like I said, without this presentation, you know, the victim, the victor thing, we have a choice in life, right? And that's the choice of we can become the victim of situations, we can become the victim of our circumstances, we can become the victim of our lives, or we can become the victors. Which one do you guys want to be?
Victor.
Want to be the victors?
Yes.
All right, so what we're going to do is, I'm going to lead the chant. Usually I do it 3 times, but you guys got great energy. I'm probably going to get carried away. And so, this is going to give you the opportunity to match my energy. What we're going to do is, I'm going to say we are, and you guys are going to say victorious. We're going to do the chant, we'll get all loud, and then after, I'm going to pull out my phone, and we're going to send a video to the man, the myth, the legend, Ed Milet himself. He said hello. He wants everyone to know he said hello. So you guys know that? All right, let's hit the music. Let's see if you can match my energy. You guys ready? Let's up that music a little bit. We are
Victorious!
We are
Victorious!
We are
Victorious! Victorious!
We are
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 Victorious!
Thanks to the staff, though. Thank you guys so much. Here. We're gonna make a video for Ned. You guys cool with it? All right. This is how we're gonna do it, guys. You gotta make some noise. I'm gonna say, WFG Canada, say what's up, and you guys will make some noise. You good with that? Hey, brother, gotta do it to you. Oh, my hair is a mess, but I gotta do it to you. WFG Canada, say what's up to the man, the myth, the legend, Ed Milet! Awesome, that was amazing. So, this is the only time I want you guys to pull out of your phones. And the reason why you pull out your phones is because this is my 2nd time speaking at World Financial Group.
47.
I did Palm Springs, and I gotta say that, you know, you guys have such amazing culture. You have an amazing culture, you have amazing energy.